What do you think are the best types of workouts that, I would say the everyday person, maybe they play golf a couple times a week, they got a family, they got a job. What should they be doing? Is it once a week, twice a week? Is it, we used to do those splits of chest and try. Is it full body? Like where's Gregg's take on the working out side of things in 2025?
Yeah, it's like I think the first thing you have to say is, what am I willing to do? Like, do I want to get into gym twice a week, three times a week? I'd say, if you could do it three times a week. And I say in the gym because I feel like if you go to the gym, you're going to be a lot more focused than trying to do it at home,
Mm,
And I know COVID brought a lot of people like doing things at home, but if you go to a gym and you think, okay, I don't have the time for this, but if your workouts are, let's say 40 minutes long, you literally can almost like go to the gym, get your workout and get home in an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. And if you could do that 3 days a week, I would be really happy.
mm,
So let's just say that's our baseline, 3 days a week. You get to the gym, you think about full body, because if you're doing 3 days a week, you probably need to do full body. The other option is to do like a high, low, high. So you could do like upper body, lower body type deal. And
mm,
you decide in the beginning, this week I'm going to do two upper and one lower. Next week I'm going to do two lower and one upper. You can mix it up, but I think it's really having that plan. And I just did a video about that. I haven't posted it yet, but it's about visualization and like on your way, you're going to the gym. Don't just walk in the gym, like visualize when you walk in the gym. And this is big for golf, right? The
mm,
visualization is huge. Same thing when you're with anything in life. I think you're going to be a lot more prepared when you get to a meeting with somebody, or if you're coming home and your dog is going to attack you, and
mm.
you could either like push the dog aside and like, yeah, I can't, or you can have already replayed this in your mind in the car. Same thing with your kids, and you can embrace them rather than be like, listen, I just need a minute, that kind of thing. But it's the same thing when you're heading to the gym. It's like, okay, how do I want this workout to look like? What am I
Mhm.
training today? Okay, if I'm going to do chest, shoulders, back, arms, I'm doing upper body. Okay, let's see. If I start with chest, I could do this and this. And, you pick, let's say, two exercises per body part, do 3 sets per exercise. Don't go crazy heavy, stay safe, get in there, put your headphones in and just go for it and say, I'm going to keep my rest times really short. There's a cardio aspect to that. And I'm going to get this workout done in 40 minutes. And I'm going to, I can get my head wrapped around that. So I would say baseline, 3 days a week.
Mhm.
2 days a week is okay, but 3 days is where you're going to get some really good results. And then if
Mhm.
I was doing 3 days a week again, I would probably do full body with an emphasis. So I'd say like, okay, I'm doing upper, but I'm going to do a little bit of legs. So, if I'm doing full body 3 days a week, I know I'm
Mhm.
going to, so I'm going to go in on, let's say Monday, I'm going to focus mostly on upper body. I'll do like some isolations for legs, maybe extensions, curls, calves. Okay, that's it. Simple. Wednesday, I'm coming in, I'm going to start with legs and I'm going to finish with upper body. So I'm emphasizing my lower body.
Mhm.
That's where you throw in more of like, Bulgarian split squats with us, squats with dumbbells. You're doing potentially squats if you're at that level, but I wouldn't suggest it. Do
Mhm.
some of those isolations, adductor for glutes. That's super important. And then you're doing some core strength, and then you go into the upper body. But don't overthink it, like just go in, have fun. But on your way to the gym, you're thinking about some of these things. And I know I'm throwing a lot at your listeners right now, especially if they don't go to the gym, but it really is way simpler than I'm making it sound right now. It's 3 days a week would be a baseline. And then just focus on those. I don't want to call it a split, but it's like
Mhm.
upper, lower, upper, or full. Go in there with
Mhm.
full, emphasizing certain things that you want, that you feel like, I'm lagging on this. And like we talk about, for instance, bench press. It's like, how does that translate to what I'm trying to do? It might not, but bench press is a good thing because aesthetically, you do want to build your chest. I mean, it's important. It's also hitting triceps, it's hitting
Mhm.
shoulders. So there's a lot of value in doing a bench press. And you want to work the front part of your body, you want to work the posterior chain. So everything is important, in my eyes, aesthetically as well as just from a physical standpoint. And then if you were to do, let's say, a 4 day or a 5 or even a 6 day split, depends on how much you get into it, then that's when we get into those body splits that you're
Mhm.
talking about. There's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, no, I was gonna,
my
yeah, because like I used to do that in college when I was working out 6, 7 days a week, and we were following the
yeah,
men's health stuff, and
yeah.
it was good. But I started doing that, lately, or maybe like last year, and I was doing like the F45s and the Orange Theories, and I liked it, but I was not seeing any results, and that's why I was like, we got to get back to progressive overload. We got to get back to, adding some weight, slowing it down, doing the full body, and that's actually when I started to see the biggest impact on my golf game and on my metabolism, like my physique. Everything changed when I started to kind of get away from the, basically cardio. I mean, like the F45s, they're fun, but for me, I just didn't feel like it was working. Is that kind of what you would recommend then, is people to not be afraid of lifting heavy?
Yeah, I mean,
Safely, of course.
safely, yeah. I think like F45 is great. I think that, there's a nice learning curve there. You're going to sweat a lot. Some people think that, sweating a lot means you're getting results. You burn a lot of calories, but if you're burning calories, you're hungry and then you're eating more. So it's like it doesn't take much to eat, to eat 600 calories, and it just took you that whole workout to barely burn 600 calories,
Right. Right.
you're, I don't know, I feel like it's diminishing returns in a way.
Hmm.
What you're talking about, something more that I would do, and then I would say, if you want to do F45, throw that in on top of it, on
Hmm.
top of the training. Again, we come back to a time thing. You might not have the time to do that. One of my favorite splits of all time, 3 day split, and it would be chest, shoulders, back, arms, and legs. Now that's a great split. Let's say if you just want to do 3 days, but the beauty of that is you can turn that into 4, 5, or 6 days of training, and all you do is just keep rotating it. Chest,
Hmm.
shoulders, back, arms, legs. And so day one, you go in, it's chest and shoulders. That way, you're doing two body parts. You throw, of course, a little bit of core in there because that's always important,
Hmm.
for back health and just having a strong core, super important. So you do chest and shoulders and a little core in between those movements. And that way, you could literally get your workout done in 30 minutes. And
Hmm.
then day two, let's say you go on a Wednesday, you do back and bis and tris, back and arms. And again, you can, because you're limiting what you're doing in the gym, you can really focus on that. And you could really challenge yourself with those movements. So, like you're saying, lifting weight, we're talking about hypertrophy, building muscle. For every pound of muscle that you put on, your metabolic, just burning, sitting on the couch is elevated by 50 to 75 calories, doing nothing, sitting on
Hmm.
basal metabolic rate, sitting on the couch. So you're building a fat burning machine just by getting in the gym and lifting weights, not even doing cardio. And that's not to say cardio isn't important. I'm just saying you're building a fat burning machine. So then you have day three, legs. And legs, of course, are so important because it's half your body. And
Most guys need to hear this, Greg.
yes, yes. And that's where in golf, where all your power is coming from
Hmm.
is your glutes and your hamstrings, posterior chain, where that's where you're getting the RPMs in your swing. And, so a lot of it comes from that lower body. So those three, that 3 day split would be my biggest recommendation. So I'm going to take notes right now: chest, shoulders, back, arms, legs. The beauty of it is that you could go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, chest, shoulders, back, arms, legs. And you're like, Thursday, I'm taking off. And then Friday, you're like, I think I'm going to go to the gym. You start with chest, shoulders again. And then Saturday, you're like, you know what? It's only 30 minutes. I'm going to go and do some back and arms.
Hmm.
And then Monday, you go back and you're like, okay, it's leg day. Because, you just keep rotating. And that's exactly what I do now. That's what
Hmm.
I've been doing for many, many years. Of course, I'm working out 6 days a week. And the fact that I'm in the gym every single day, I'm still doing stuff when I'm not working out because I'm
Hmm.
always playing or doing something. But I do 6 days a week, and that's my rotation. That's what I do. And that's what I highly recommend. And that'll allow you to, again, really challenge yourself on what you're doing, lift, weight that really is going to build muscle, and then pull back on the total number of sets that you have to do because you're only doing, a couple body parts in a
Hmm.
workout. I think people could get their heads wrapped around that.